revisiting Jennifer Lopez's iconic 2000 Grammys dress, and why her stylist told her not to wear it February 23, 2000. The red carpet outside the Grammy Awards is buzzing. Flashbulbs pop. Reporters shout. Limousines roll in. And then, she steps out. A flowing, tropical print silk chiffon gown. Emerald green. Sheer. Plunging past expectation. The neckline drops so dramatically it seems to defy gravity and convention. The world stops. That dress didn't just walk the red carpet. It detonated it. This is the story of how Jennifer Lopez made fashion history, why her own stylist told her not to wear it, and how one bold decision reshaped celebrity culture, and even the internet itself. Before the dress, there was the grind. In 2000, Jennifer Lopez was already a rising force. She had conquered film with breakout performances. She had launched a music career that critics initially doubted. Her debut album On the Six had proven she wasn't just an actress dabbling in pop. But she wasn't yet a global fashion benchmark. She wasn't yet the red carpet dominator. At that moment, she was still ascending. Still carving space. Still proving she belonged in every room she entered. And the Grammys? That was one of the biggest rooms in entertainment. The dress was from the Spring 2000 collection by Versace. It wasn't custom-made for Lopez. It had appeared on the runway months earlier. It had even been worn by other celebrities in different contexts. But no one had worn it like this. The design featured a sheer silk chiffon, a bold jungle leaf print, a neckline plunging nearly to the navel, a delicate citrine brooch holding it together. The dress was daring, provocative, unapologetically sensual. And in 2000, that mattered. Because red carpet fashion at the time leaned glamorous, but safer. Elegant silhouettes. Controlled drama. Not this. This was raw confidence. Behind every iconic look is a decision. And behind that decision? Debate. Jennifer Lopez's stylist at the time, Andrea Lieberman, reportedly had reservations. The concern wasn't about beauty. It was about risk. The dress was so revealing that it could overshadow everything else. The music. The performance. The credibility she had worked to build. There was also the practical concern. What if it slipped? What if it malfunctioned? The neckline was secured with little more than strategic placement and body confidence. In interviews years later, Lopez recalled being told the dress might be too much. Too revealing. Too attention-grabbing. Too distracting. And here's the deeper tension. At that stage of her career, Lopez was fighting to be taken seriously. Would this dress reduce her to a headline? Would it reinforce stereotypes? Would it cost her opportunities? Her stylist advised caution. Jennifer Lopez chose boldness. The red carpet became electric. Reporters gasped. Photographers surged forward. Cameras angled lower. Closer. The neckline was unlike anything mainstream awards shows had seen. But here's what's crucial. Lopez didn't appear nervous. She didn't tug at the fabric. She didn't look self-conscious. She owned it. And ownership changes perception. The dress didn't wear her. She wore the dress. Within hours, media outlets were replaying the footage non-stop. The next morning, newspapers across the globe led with her image. Not the winners. Not the performances. Her. Here's where the story gets legendary. In 2000, internet search engines were still evolving. After the Grammys, millions of people tried to find photos of the dress online. According to Google executives years later, the volume of searches for Jennifer Lopez green dress was unprecedented. It became one of the most searched queries they had ever seen at the time. So much so that it inspired a solution. Google Images was born in 2001, partly because users wanted to see that dress. One outfit. One night. One decision. And it changed how the world searches for images. Fashion didn't just influence culture. It influenced technology. The reaction wasn't universally glowing. Some critics called it inappropriate. Too revealing. A publicity stunt. Others hailed it as fearless. Liberating. Empowering. But here's the nuance. In 2000, conversations about female autonomy and image were different. The early 2000s were harsh on women in the spotlight. Wardrobe choices were moralized. Bodies were scrutinized. And yet, Lopez stood firm. She didn't apologize. She didn't downplay it. She celebrated it. That stance became part of her brand. Confidence as currency. Looking back, Andrea Lieberman's caution makes sense. Stylists protect careers. They think long-term. They assess optics. And in a world where one wrong move could derail a trajectory, the safer choice might have been strategic. But history rewards risk. The very thing that made the dress controversial made it unforgettable. If Lopez had played it safe that night, would she have become the red carpet icon we know today? Would fashion houses view her as a risk-taker? Would the internet have evolved the same way? Sometimes the best career decision is the one that scares everyone. Nearly 2 decades later, at Milan Fashion Week 2019, something remarkable happened. At the invitation of Donatella Versace, Jennifer Lopez closed the Versace runway show, wearing an updated version of the jungle dress. The crowd erupted. It wasn't nostalgia. It was reclamation. The dress wasn't a moment anymore. It was legacy. And this time, no one told her not to wear it. Fashion is often dismissed as superficial. But sometimes, a dress becomes a statement. A decision becomes a turning point. And a risk becomes history. Jennifer Lopez didn't just wear a gown in 2000. She made a choice. To be seen. Fully. Boldly. Without apology. And in doing so, she reshaped the red carpet forever. Inside the industry, reactions were more complicated than the headlines suggested. Some executives reportedly worried the look would eclipse her music career. Others feared it reinforced Hollywood's tendency to focus on appearance over talent. Remember, in 2000, the music industry was still heavily gate-kept. Female artists were boxed into narrow categories. The serious vocalist. The pop ingenue. The sex symbol. Jennifer Lopez refused to choose just one. But that refusal made some people uncomfortable. Because when a woman controls her image, instead of letting the industry dictate it, the power dynamic shifts. The dress wasn't just fabric. It was leverage. Let's break down why the stylist's hesitation was strategic. At the time, Lopez was transitioning fully into music credibility. Award shows were reputation-building platforms. A media culture was far less forgiving. If the look backfired, it could have labeled her as style over substance. Stylists operate like political advisors. They read public mood. They predict backlash. They protect future bookings. From that perspective, advising against the jungle dress wasn't fear. It was risk management. But Jennifer Lopez had something else guiding her decision. Instinct. And instinct can't be styled. It's important to understand. This moment happened before Instagram, before Twitter, before viral TikTok breakdowns. And yet, the dress went viral. Television loops replayed it hourly. Entertainment shows dissected it frame by frame. Magazines rushed to print covers. Without social media amplification, the moment spread organically. That's rare. It proves the impact wasn't algorithmic. It was visceral. People weren't told to care. They just did. Before 2000, red carpet fashion followed a formula. Classic silhouettes. Minimal scandal. High elegance. After 2000,